class. Thank you. Okay, now at this point, we should all be finishing up with our graphic organizers. Earlier on, we have worked on our KWL charts, and now we've finished up our graphic organizer. As a reminder, that KWL chart and graphic organizer was for us to get a little bit of a review of the vocabulary terms that we've been using throughout this unit, and will be carried on to this lesson. Now, before we move on to our guided practice section, our standard is standard 4 for interpersonal communication, which is 4.2. We will practice how to refuse less nutritional foods in a social setting. Our learning objective is by the end of the lesson, students will be able to act out real life scenarios where one is refusing less nutritional foods in a social setting. Situation must, remember, must include 2 to 3 solutions that the said individual can say or do when refusing the less nutritional food, and or what can be eaten as an alternative to the less nutritional food. So, in a more simpler way, our goal is to be able to act out real life scenarios where someone is refusing less nutritional foods. Now, we're aiming towards for you to be able to include at least 2 to 3 solutions for what you can say or do when you're refusing it, or you can also add in what can be eaten as an alternative to the less nutritional food. Now, remember our vocabulary we just did with the KWL chart and the graphic organizer. We were learning that we were remembering for the terms of nutrition, BMI, healthy fats, unhealthy fats, carbohydrates, carbs. We refreshed our memory for because this can be clues for what we can eat as an alternative to less nutritional foods. So now we are going to be working on a Nearpod activity. Now this Nearpod activity is going to be a video essentially that you guys will be watching on your own with your Chromebooks. And here the video is going to provide videos of real life scenarios where one is facing a problem where he is having to refuse less nutritional foods. Now, the first half is going to be a lot simpler because it's going to ask more for vocabulary terms, exactly what we did earlier. It's just going to ask you a little bit of reminder, key points of them, like fats, healthy fats, carbs, okay? After that, it'll show you a scenario where one is conflicted. For example, one could be conflicted, he's with his friends at McDonald's. The video's gonna pause. It's gonna ask you, what should you do based on the clues that are in the video. There's a clue that Sprouts right next door. What would somebody do in this scenario with these examples provided to you? Yes. Yes, exactly. If you notice, I added in Sprouts next door. Now, somebody could pitch in, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go to Sprouts, or does anyone wanna come along with me? We can go get a salad from Sprouts. We could get a sandwich from there. Some type of alternative that can be eaten as an alternative to the less nutritional food, McDonald's. Now, what we just did was we added our opinion based on the evidence and clues of what we believe that person can do. The next half is going to show you what he actually did. It doesn't mean it's going to be correct or not. It's going to ask you, did he do it correct? Did he not do it correct? What are some ways that could have been better? What are some things that he did or said or did? Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we get started? Yes, very good question. So, yes, essentially you are going to be doing this alone, but after about 15 minutes, I am actually going to be able to see on my computer your guys' responses live. I will be monitoring, helping you guys out too during, but towards the end, I will pull up the projector, and we're going to put up everybody's scores. It's fixing the solutions or what we could do to make that answer better, okay? So you're not alone, okay? You do have 15 minutes of independency, but you guys are not alone. You always have me here with you, okay? So at this moment, you guys can take out your Chromebooks and let's start our Nearpod activity. So I'm gonna be walking around for you guys. How are you doing? Yeah, so here you see here on the screen. Yeah, very good, good job. And here, how are you doing? Just like that. Yeah, exactly. You're doing a very great job. Very good. Very good. Okay, it has now been 15 minutes. So I walked around, helped you guys. You guys had a lot of great questions. I appreciate that. I hope I was able to help. If I wasn't quite there, I didn't quite get to you, don't worry, we're gonna be going over it now, okay? I have been viewing the scores. We did a very great job actually. I could tell where the KWL chart and the graphic organizer we did has really helped us in here. Okay, let me set this up. So our third scenario seems to have been the trouble here. When we were faced with a situation where it looks like if he was at Stater Brothers with his brother and sister, and they wanted the mom to buy some ice cream. Your mom said you can only have one ice cream tub. Your siblings wanted to get the sugary cookies and cream here, I see. And while you saw there was another brand that was a healthier brand. Now, in this scenario, they were fighting with their siblings. I noticed a lot of you pressed the answer A, where it was ignore your siblings, tell your mom. You guys are correct that he was telling his mom, hey, this is more nutritious. He told them all the facts. He told them the healthy facts. He told her everything there is, which is great. However, the siblings, you just ignored them. They don't know. They don't know why the mom is favoring your option versus theirs. For all they know, the mom just wanted to listen to you because you're older. So notice how D actually says, try and show the siblings the nutritional values. Try to show your mom the nutritional values all together. This is a better option because they are working together. He is not only informing his mom, he is informing the siblings. Now the siblings are learning more about nutritional facts, even if they may not want to hear it, you are trying. And here they don't think, oh, mom is just listening to him. Does somebody want to provide to me why they chose that answer or what made them specifically think that was the right answer? Yeah, so you may think that because the children are children, they are not interested in what's the point. A missed opportunity. They could become educated, okay? You are not only educating them, you are learning more about it because now you are the educator teaching them. Okay, let's go over the next problem. So I noticed, okay? So now that we have gone over all five, there was only five that we missed. Now that we've gone over those five, any questions too? While working our independent section, I can go ahead and answer those too. But for the most part, exactly what we just learned in our Nearpod activity, we achieved this goal. We learned how we are able to refuse less nutritional foods in social settings. We were also able to point out solutions that the individual can do or say when refusing the less nutritional foods, while also pointing out what can be eaten as opposed to the less nutritional foods. So we already did that here, and now that concludes our guided practice section. We will now be moving forward to our independent section, which will still tie into our Saturday, because remember, this is our goal, our learning objective. This is our goal that we are working towards. I want you guys in the meantime, take out your pencils, take out if you don't already, keep your Chromebooks out and take out some notebooks, okay? So we can transition into our independent practice. Also, you can start getting into your groups because it will be a group assignment.